Hello.
Sean?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is Joan at the Deuel District Court. So I got a hold of the judge, and this is how protection order hearings go. He set aside the time, the hearing is set, it doesn't get moved. So the hearing will go on tomorrow at 9 in the morning. I'm going to send you a Zoom invite. You're welcome to appear via Zoom. And on this invite, there will also be a phone number. If you can't get the Zoom part figured out, you can call in on the phone at least, and then he can hear you. I mean, ideally, if he could hear and see you, that would be the best. But anyway, at least you would have that option. If you're not able to figure any of that out, you should be able to do the phone line, I believe. But the hearing's going to go on, and he'll proceed on the evidence that he has presented at the time. So it's going to happen.
That's the problem,
so
ma'am.
You either are there
I'm
or
being,
not.
ma'am, I'm being railroaded by the courts. This is entirely illegal. I cannot defend myself. Being railroaded by Deuel County Sheriff's Department since 2018. I've called everybody that there is to call, and I've been denied by all of them. I need help stopping the abuse, ma'am, by the Deuel County Sheriff's Department, as well as their ability to manipulate the law in order to prevent me from defending myself. I have a lot of evidence of what they have done in the last over 4 years to prevent me from being able to turn them in. This is not okay, ma'am.
Okay, well, what we're dealing with right now is this protection order hearing and the evidence that was presented for the protection order. That's all we're dealing with right now.
But
not all the other stuff.
But
Hold on. So the judge isn't doing anything different to you than he does for anybody. I'm just giving you options so that you can be there. That's all I'm saying. I'm trying to give you options, whether it's Zoom or calling in on this phone number at 9 in the morning. I just want to let you know the hearing's going on. That's what he said. So
they're going to railroad me no matter what. That's the point, is that they've already railroaded me in court repeatedly by denying me the right to turn in Scott DeCoste and Leslie Snell. That's what all of this is over. I didn't threaten to harm anyone. The evidence that he has presented, he needs to actually look at that evidence, because in all of those videos, I explained in all of them that I'm not trying to hurt anyone. I'm going out of my way to get a court date so that I can turn in these predators, including Leslie Snell. That's the thing about not being allowed to go to my protection order last time. Leslie Snell outright lied on her paperwork, so did Scott DeCoste, and I'm not going to be heard because they're going to play the mentally ill crap again.
Well, you can call in, and then you can be heard. I mean, at least try to call in on the phone line, and then when the judge gives you your chance to speak, then you could speak. I mean, at least do that, and then at least you can say whatever you're going to say, and then the judge can say whatever he does. I mean, I don't run the hearings. I'm not the judge, but I'm just saying, at least then you get a chance to express your concerns over things, and then then he can decide.
But how can he decide if I'm not allowed to show any evidence? See, the reason that they're doing this is to prevent me from turning them in. That includes Leslie Snell.
Well, they're not really doing anything. I mean, they set the hearing. You knew the hearing was happening, and I'm sorry that you're having some issues and you had to go to McCook. I understand.
These are all safety issues because of the issue with Scott DeCoste manipulating his power to prevent me from being able to do this. I am not mentally capable of handling all of this. I cannot take care of myself, ma'am.
So then you can maybe say that when you have your hearing tomorrow, and perhaps the judge will do something about that. I don't know that. I'm just saying, at least if you try to call in when I send you this invite, which I'll send to that email you gave me, that dogged Roman, is that still correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll send it to that, and if you can figure out the Zoom or have, I don't know if your autism gal can help you get that on your phone, or at least call into the number, then at least you'll get a chance to say something tomorrow in the hearing at 9, and you get to say something. So I just wanted to let you know that's what's going to happen, and that's what I'm going to email to you so you have it. And
Ma'am, I
If you
don't have
don't,
any representation and I can't take care of myself. I can't represent myself. That's the issue. I've been denied all of my rights for the last 4 years because they keep calling me mentally ill, and Scott DeCosta is doing everything that he can to prevent me from turning him in. There is too many safety issues here, and the judge does need to address those.
have you tried to call, legal aid? You said you tried to call and they
I
couldn't
have.
help
Polly
you.
Olson told me to call them all the way back in 2018. That's one of the
Uh,
reasons for me speaking about Polly Olson, about how I have tried to get this help. There are many, many, many witnesses that I've been trying to get this help. I've called the Nebraska Attorney General's office. I have recorded phone calls with them and with the State Patrol. I have recorded conversations with Scott DeCosta and with Tara Smith from Adult Protective Services. I have called everybody that there is to call. I'm being denied my rights as an intelligent person by calling me disabled, and I'm being denied my rights as a disabled person because I'm intelligent.
So when you did call legal aid, can they help you, like just through this hearing? Just like to be on the phone also at this hearing?
No, they have
They
told me
can't.
repeatedly that that's not what they do. They don't do anything about civil or criminal. That's the point, is that what everybody keeps telling me that these other agencies are supposed to do, these other agencies are telling me that it's not their job to do it. And that includes the Nebraska State Patrol, who it is that I've been trying to turn in Scott DeCosta to since 2018. I mean, how many times have I been to talk to you about protection orders just against Scott DeCosta? I can think of at least twice.
Well, I I'm just I'm just sharing with you what the judge told me, and I'm trying to get something to you so that you have an opportunity to speak tomorrow. That's all I'm trying to do, just so that it won't go on and you won't get a chance to say anything. So I'm just trying to get you that link that I will send to your email address, and it will have a phone number on it. And then just call that phone number at 9 o'clock at least, and then you can at least appear, or I mean, he can hear your voice.
Yes, ma'am. Now, could you at least verify that I have called you I have gone in person to talk to you on more than one occasion about getting a protection order against Scott DeCosta?
You have, and I've given you paperwork on it.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I don't know that, I would have to look, Sean. I can't remember if you brought some of it back or not. But I know one time you came in and you needed 5 different copies, and I gave you 5 copies of protection order paperwork.
Yes, ma'am, and I turned all of those into Scott DeCosta.
Because you turn them back to me, protection orders you turn into me, and then I get them to the judge, and then he decides if they're valid or not.
So I wasn't supposed to turn them into Scott DeCosta.
You turn them into me. So protection orders, you get the stuff from me, and then you bring the paperwork back to me, and then I submit it to the judge, and he decides if it will be, if he's going to sign the order or not for there to be a protection order. If there is, then we do like what happened with you. Then you get served with it, and you can request a hearing. And if you request a hearing, then we do what we're doing tomorrow, and then the judge decides if the protection order will stand or not. If you don't respond to the request for hearing like happened to you before, then the protection order stands for a year.
Well, that's
So
the thing, is
that would
that
be
I
the
was
same
illegally
thing.
prevented from responding because Scott DeCosta had me put in prison for misdemeanors that were not committed. And Leslie Snell, she wrote down on the protection order that she didn't have any prior dealings with the courts with me and so on and so forth, but her stamp is all over my paperwork. She knew that I was trying to turn her in. On that phone call that I made with her, I recorded the phone call, and like, she was trying to give out my number. That is not okay. I have not given out her phone number. I have not given out her husband's phone number, and her husband did give me his phone number, and he is also, since I got out of prison last year, he's waved at me, and that I didn't wave at him, obviously, because that would be a violation, but he did wave at me, and that is a violation as well. But the fact that I was in prison and prevented from getting that paperwork turned in because I wasn't even allowed to talk to my public pretender until I'd already been there almost 40 days. I was illegally prevented from even appearing at that protection order.
Oh, the first one of hers. Well, I guess I was just talking about when you came into my office and got the paperwork.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
I guess that's what you were asking me, and that's the one I remember is when you came in and I gave you that, and I just didn't get any of it back. But
Yeah,
that explains because you gave it to Scott. But that's how it would work. If you would get that, then you bring it back to me, and then I have to give it to the judge.
Well, will you check to see if any of that paperwork went through your office?
Well, I don't have it because you have to bring it back to me.
Right, but I had taken it to Scott DeCoste, so
But that wouldn't be his. Even if anybody else did that and took it to him, that's not his job to bring it to me.
So he should have told me that.
If you're requesting it, you bring it back to me. And I thought I told you that when I gave it to you. I apologize if I didn't, but I thought I said you need to bring it back to me to be filed.
You said it goes to the Deuel County Sheriff to be served.
After the judge signs it, if he's going to sign it, then it goes to them to be served. They only do the service on protection orders.
All right, so he should have Scott DeCoste should have known that, and he should have told me that. Am I correct about that?
I don't know if he knows how that works on my end or not, but that's how it works on my end. So I don't want you to. I mean, I did definitely give you paperwork. Yes,
you
did
certainly
request
did,
it, and I gave it to you, and I just did never get anything back. So I didn't know what had happened after that. And you're not the only one that has happened before. I've given paperwork out to other people, and then I haven't gotten it back, and so, I don't know what has happened. So I'm not sure. Sometimes people change their mind. I know it sounds like your deal wasn't that, but I didn't know that you had taken it downstairs, so.
Yes, ma'am. All right,
but
thank
anyway,
you, Joan.
So yes, you did try to do that. So I'm going to get this email to you. I'm going to be here until 4 o'clock today. So if you don't have anything from me by then, call me if something's not showing up so that I can make sure it's getting into your email, okay?
All right. What time is it there now? Because I'm in a different time zone.
Yeah, it's like 20 to 12, like 11:40 or 11:37.
All right, here. Thank you, ma'am.
I think you're an hour ahead of me, right?
I am. It's 12:37 according to my telephone.
Yep, you're an hour ahead of me. So, yeah, I just want to make sure you have it before I go so we don't have to scramble around in the morning. Okay?
All right, thank you, Joan.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye. That's one of the major issues with communication. That's one of the reasons for needing somebody to go in with me. I do have the recordings somewhere. I'm hoping it's on. I guess I moved the computer to over there. For fuck's sake. I was able to find one of my recordings with Joan and review it before I was locked up. That was the stuff that me and Megan Messigatis were going through. God, I'm so overwhelmed with all of this. one that I recorded with her, it explains that, or she had explained that I need to fill out the paperwork and that the sheriff is the one who has the paperwork served. At that point in time, they didn't have the ability to copy it, and I didn't have a copy machine that was actually functional. I was still trying to. I have 2 copy machines. One of them is the white one that I have. The other one is the black copy machine that ran out of ink. And of course, being able to make copies on it was not a happening thing. There's also Pump and Pantry used to do copies. I believe it was like 15 cents a copy or 10 cents a copy. And they don't do that anymore. So I would have had to go to the library to do that, and the library was closed when I was trying to go there. And that's one of the motivations for buying another copy machine, is so that I could make the copies myself when I have to do this stuff.